So it's just dotloop.com. If you hear from any agents that have been at our office for a while, don't listen to them when they tell you to go to MyKW. There's no need for you to go to MyKW for anything, since you all are new. That's the old site. There's nothing that you need to go there. So if anyone tells you that, just say, not me. So basically what Dotloop is, it's the place where you're going to send your documents to your clients to get signatures. So what you're going to do when you come here, the first thing you want to check is that you have that KW logo on the top left. If you don't, then you're either in the wrong account, or you just have to reach out to support at Scott Lorraine Marketing, and I'll put their email in the chat. You might have created a Dotloop before they finished setting yours up, so it might have just caused some problems with their setup. What you're going to do next is you're going to click Add Loop on the top right. Our photos might be in the way, so you just have to move us over. You'll click Add Loop, and then if you're doing a listing, you're going to put the property address. If you're working with a buyer, you're going to put the buyer's name or names, -buyers, because you can actually just use this one loop to create under all your offers. You don't have to create a new loop for every single offer. So you can, sorry, let me just let these people in. So I'm going to go through the listing side first and then the buy side. And if you attended the How to Write a Contract class yesterday, you would have already kind of known the buy side, the paperwork. I'm not going to go into depth in the paperwork. I'm just going to show you guys how to use Dotloop. And the listing paperwork class is at 3 p.m. today. And again, all these classes we're doing are every single week at the same time. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with the listing side. So I'm just going to do the office name, Ridgewood. And then when you type it in, you'll just click continue on the bottom. Then in templates, you're going to choose residential listing loop. If you were doing a rental, you would choose rental listing loop. If you had a condo or townhouse, you would choose that loop. All the templates are in here. If you work in New York, 2 to 4 family, referral, obviously the agent removal you guys don't need. So I'm just going to go into the residential listing loop, and you don't need a photo. Some agents like to upload it for their listing so then they can find it quicker, but it's not something you need. And you can click done, and then it'll create the little smiley face, and then you're going to click view loop on the bottom right. And what that's going to do is now you have all the documents that you need to do all your paperwork for your clients. When you get in here, the first thing I suggest to do is to scroll to the bottom, and you're going to add your people. The people you would add would be, the office is always going to be added automatically. That's how Sally will be able to review all your documents. And if you ever have any issues, Natalie and I can get in there as well. So what you're going to do is add the full name. So let's just say I have a seller, and we'll use Natalie as an example. And then you're going to put their email, and you're going to choose the role. So for this one, the role is going to be seller, and then you're going to put all the information in. So for street number, she lives at the address right now, so we're going to put that one. And this is going to help populate in some places, so you want to make sure to fill this out as much as you can. And you're going to click add person. You don't want to click add to my team on the top right, unless you're working with another agent or anything like that. The only people you want to add to the team would be people that you want to give full access to deleting, undoing signatures, editing documents. So you don't want to add anyone unless, say, you were doing like a co-list with someone or you were working with an agent. So those are the only times you would ever want to add someone to a team. So you'll click add person. You're already added because you created the loop. So say there's only one seller, you only have to add that one seller. So what you're going to do next, I always suggest going through here and getting rid of any documents that I don't need. So this isn't a real property, which is real estate owned. So I'm just going to click the checkbox next to that. And it was built after 1978. And so I'm going to get rid of the lead paint disclosure because we don't need that either. as well as the Protect Your Family. That's basically explaining all about lead paint, which is mandatory to send if it's before 1978.
Reese, before you continue, when you say only one seller, is that what happens if it's like they're a married couple? Do you only put one name in or both?
No, so I was just saying in this case, there's only one seller, and whoever is involved in the transaction, sellers, some people, if they're working with like elderly clients, they'll also add like the daughter or son so that they can help with the documents as well. So you want to add whoever is involved in the transaction.
Okay, thank you.
So then you would just click add person again, and you would just add that husband or wife or whoever it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I always just like to clean it up because the loop can get very messy very quick. So like I said, we don't need the Rio COVID waiver. This one was built after 1978, so we don't need the lead paint either. And we're not doing delayed showing, so I don't need that one either. So I'm just going to scroll up and click archive.
Could you explain what the delayed showing is?
Sure. So the delayed showing form is just say you were going to be listing a home tomorrow, but they don't want to be showing it until Friday. They would have to fill this out, and it's called delayed showing form because it's going up online, but you and no one else are able to show the home. So some people will use this as like a coming soon, but NJMLS just calls it delayed showing. Just gonna re-click these, and any documents you don't want, you'll click on them and then choose archive. Dotloop doesn't have a delete button, which is great because you can't make any mistakes. So if you ever archive something accidentally, like say I just accidentally archived the COVID waiver, what I would do is on the right, you would click show archive, and it'll show you in a grayed version at the bottom all of them that you accidentally archived. If you want to unarchive anything, you would just go to the right-hand side, click the three dots, and choose unarchive. So there's no delete button, which is great because, you know, things can happen. So if you did want to delete something, it's just called archive. So that's what you would do. So now what I'm going to show you is how to assign, and that process is that when you're sending the documents to your seller or buyer, everything's assigned to them. So let me open up the COVID waiver. And I'm going to autofill. So I already have Natalie as a seller. That's kind of why you add people, so that they autofill. So I'm going to click autofill. The only thing I would have to type is the property address. So I'm going to type that in there. And then you're just going to want to, the thing is you only have one client, that you have to unclick the other one. So right now, both of these are assigned to Natalie. So if she got them, it's going to prompt her to sign twice. So what you would do is you would just click on the second one, and on the top left corner, you're going to see assign to, and you would just click no one. And the other one that you're going to have her sign is technically already assigned to her because it's assigned to the role. I personally always just feel like to actually assign it to them. So you would just, again, click on the box, hover to the top left, and you would choose Natalie or whoever your seller was. Then once you do that, you fill out the document. You're going to click save. And then now the document's saved. You don't want to share yet because you want to share all the documents at once so then they can just go through, read everything, sign, instead of them getting like 10 different emails that they have to go into. So you would just click back when you're done. It's going to ask you if you want to share the document, and you're going to say no. If you forget to save it, like say I made an edit in here and I click back, it'll ask me first, do you want to save the document? You'll say yes, and then it'll ask you to share, and you're going to say no. And then, does everyone understand that part with the signing and everything? Awesome. So let's say, okay, go ahead.
When you're sharing, are the receivers going to receive multiple emails, or is it all going to be in one email?
So for them, it'll be one email.
Okay.
And they'll get it. I'm going to show you how to share. They'll get
Okay.
it. And basically it's going to open up, and I'll send it to myself actually, so then I can show you what it looks like on the client end. So let me just add myself. Oh, that's my email. That's my Gmail. So then I can show you kind of what it looks like on the client side. So let's say we're in the listing agreement. I go in here. Tip that you guys attend Sally's class later today. You can actually create the listing agreement in the MLS. So it's one thing less thing to do. Basically, you would fill out the MLS when you learn how to do that, and then you would just print that out and you would upload it to Dotloop, and then you would just add the signature fields. But let's say there's a dual commission agreement, which means, say I'm the selling agent and I tell them, if I get the buyer, you only have to pay me 4% instead of 5%. So what you would want to do is when you go to the top, okay, not this document. On any document that you need to add a text box, or say you need to add another initial, you can literally just click on it, and let me see, I'm just gonna autofill this. And say you need to add another initial because say there's 3 sellers in this. You would just click add initial, and you would just add that initial right here. And then you would just assign it again to that person. Just in case, sometimes there's 3 parties, sometimes there's only 1. So that's how you would add that initial. Excuse me. Or if you need to add another signature, anytime you need to add something, you can just click on add that, and then you just drag it to where you need and click where you want it to end up.
Natalie, when would you use an initial instead of a signature? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I knew who you meant. Oh, I don't mind being Natalie. A reason you would add an initial, like say on a contract, or there was a change. Say you countered and they're saying, okay, we'll take 300 instead of 290. You could actually just do a strike through, and then you would have them initial next to it.
Got it.
So something like that. But it's just so that you know where to go. You can add text, add initial, all that kind of stuff. Again, all the signing within the documents is the same. You go to the same exact spot. So like for dual agency, you would just click autofill. It autofills the property address. You just have to put your name here. And then where it says salesperson, obviously if I'm the listing agent, I'm signing. So what I'll do is I'll go to the top and I'll click on my name. That was the wrong Reese. I have myself twice in here. When it's orange, that means you can sign it. So then you would click sign now, and it'll pull up your signature. So that's how you would sign it.
Okay, could you explain dual agency again?
Yeah, and I would definitely attend Sally's class because she goes into full detail of that.
Got
So
it.
if you want to come later, you're more than welcome.
Is that going to be
Dual
recorded?
agency is just, yes, everything this week is going to be recorded.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And you can come next week or the week after that or the week after that. So,
Yeah, I have a 3 o'clock appointment.
yeah, so a disclosed dual agent, the reason they're signing this is say that you're listing the home. If you bring the buyer, that they agree that it's okay that you're representing both sides.
Oh, got it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and it's also, if it's anyone within this office, it's still considered dual agency. So say, Roddy, you were working with Silvana, and Silvana had the buy side and you had the list side, it's technically still a dual agency.
Got it.
So assigning the fields, that's all the same. What you would do, you would fill out all these documents. Once you're done filling them out, you would just click the check boxes next to the ones you want to share with your client. And what you would do is you would click Share Document on the top right, and you would choose the person. Hold on, I gotta assign a field to me instead of Natalie so I can show you guys what it looks like. I'll do 2 documents so I can show you. Okay, so I'll share those 2 with me. So you would click share, you would click on the person. If you have 2 sellers, you can send it to them at the same time. If you are sending it to an attorney, you can, once the document's already done, anyone you want to send it to, technically you can just send it through Dotloop and then click the attach email button. For me, since I'm going to be the seller, I'm just going to have it be that I can sign. If you're sending them a seller's disclosure, you have to change that to can fill and sign. So any fillable documents that you want them to fill, you would have to change that to can fill and sign. If you send the seller's disclosure to them and it just says can sign, nothing's going to be filled out, and then you'll just have to send it to them again. For the list side, I definitely emphasize to the clients to, in the message, that they need to fill out the seller's disclosure, because it's not going to prompt them to click on every little checkbox. It's just going to prompt them to sign. So a lot of the time it gets skipped. The message that I do for either side, obviously, usually, if you don't know, I also do transaction work. Agents hire me to do their paperwork, basically. So when I'm sending it, I'm saying, like, I work for this person, but as obviously you're going to be talking with them, they know that you're sending them documents. So I would just say, hey, Reese, here are all the documents that we discussed. Please make sure to fill out the seller's disclosure and review and sign all other documents. And if you want to just create a generic thing, I would just copy this and paste it somewhere on your computer so that you don't have to type it out every time. But that's up to you. So I'll send this to me, and then what I'll do is I'm going to pull up my other email. Let me pull up my other email. Okay. So you can see it says, please review 2 documents for and the property address. And when you click on it, it's going to have your message that you put in the comment section. And then you're just going to click view all documents, and it'll open up like this. So you can actually just click start signing, and it tells them click start signing to begin. So I'll click start signing. It's going to tell me to fill this because none of this is filled out, but obviously for the listing agreement, they're not filling it out, you are. And it's because obviously I did it twice. So like I put my name in twice. So it's going to ask you to fill these all out, and then when you're done, you click I'm done at the top, and you can click, I need to scroll down. So they're going to click on their name, it's going to ask them to sign, and I'll click adopt and sign, and then you scroll down, and they would have to sign wherever it tells them to sign, they have to sign. And then I'm going to click I'm done, and then it just asks you to recommend the app, and you can just finish that. That's all they have to do. They just have to click I'm done. Sometimes they'll forget to click I'm done, and then you won't get the document. So they just have to make sure that they click on done. And then I'm going to refresh this, log back in. And now if we go into dual agency, Now it's signed by me as the seller. So that's how you would share the document. And you'll get an email for every time they sign something. So if I pull up my email, I have a lot of emails open. It'll say like Reese Serino sign this, Reese Serino sign that. So you see, you'll get an email for every single document that they sign. So then what you would do is you would just go in the Dotloop and you would just go through your documents and sign whatever you need to sign. So that would be the listing agreement or the contract, the dual agency, the seller disclosure, lead paint if there is any, all those documents. Once you're done, on the listing side, you have to submit to Sally before you put anything live. And you can prepare all these documents prior. They don't have to be like, you can have your client sign a document even if the list date is like 1/10. And then you can submit it to Sally so you know when you're ready to put it live on the 10th, you don't have to worry about waiting for Sally to sign it. So the way you send it to Sally would, you click all the way at the top, it says submit for review. You click that, you're gonna choose listing paperwork, and then the type is gonna be listing paperwork. If you create your own folder, on the left-hand side, these are all just the names of the folders. So say you create a folder that said like 74 Godwin or something else, you can choose whatever folder all the paperwork is in, but on the right-hand side, when it says select type, you have to choose listing paperwork or Sally won't get to it. And then for compliance note for her, I just say like putting on a listing next week or whenever the date is, and then you would submit. I'm not gonna submit because then she'll get confused. She'll probably be like, 74 Godwin, we're still in the office? So I'm just gonna not submit. But the only other reason you would have to submit your documents is say the buy side, you don't submit your documents at all. Once you go under contract and you submit your commissions, which you guys will all learn about in the advanced part of the classes, Lynn just knows to like go into your loop and check everything. So you only have to submit to Sally on the list side. And the only other reason you'd have to submit is say you did a price change form or any change form for the MLS, you would assign the signature to admin for Ridgewood or for Tenafly, and you would click submit for review, and you would do the same thing. Select the folder on the right-hand side, select listing paper, and then just put in the comments like price change form so that she knows that it's only one document that she needs to look at. So that's how you would submit to Sally or for Tenafly, Judith. Do you guys have any questions on sharing, submitting, any of that?
When you submit for the listing paperwork, I guess, who does the actual listing on the MLS?
What do you mean? That would be you.
Okay. Is there a class for that as well?
You're more than welcome to do the listing agreement in here. But I know it's just a trick to do it on the MLS so that you're not putting in all the information in two different spots. That's all. And I'm pretty sure Sally goes over that in her class at 3.
Oh, she does? Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, she'll go over like all the paperwork for the listing. She did buy side yesterday, as well as Judith from Tenafly did the lease paperwork yesterday. So all those classes will be uploaded to the Coaching Lobby YouTube channel latest tomorrow. I just have to get them all uploaded.
Got it. Thank you.
And are you going to be repeating the same classes every week, or they're going to be different?
Yep.
Oh,
Same class.
so if we missed one, we can still see it next week?
You can come and see me anytime you want. Because then once you complete all those classes, then you'll start just taking the regular classes that are on like our office calendar, and you would start taking Push or Ignite, and those cover basically every day of the week. So that's why we're just keeping it the same, and also so you don't have to wait to take the class again if you do have any questions on it.
Okay, thank
Reese, you had mentioned that we're converting over to DocuSign. So did you indicate a time frame, A, and B? Is the platform relatively similar? I've used DocuSign in my past life and I'm familiar with it. It seems relatively similar.
Correct. I don't think about DocuSign because I don't know when we're switching over. We're kind of stuck with getting the documents in there from the state, but we can't use DocuSign yet. So you really want to make sure that you understand how to use Dotloop.
Gotcha.
Hey, Reese, if
Yes.
you do the listing through the MLS, I'm assuming you could hold it there and not put it live.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And then how do you
So what
upload
you would
it?
do is,
Oh, sorry.
I can just show you quick, since you guys have some questions about that. Let me just get logged in. So say you were, I'm not going to, you guys will learn how to do this in the MLS, but I'm just going to go into someone and show you how you can save without publishing it. So you would just, when you create your listing, you would just click finish later, and then that'll save it. And where that will be is, obviously I'm in the admin one, so you guys won't have this many listings in here, but where it says listing in progress, that's where your listings will be that you just started on the MLS but didn't publish. That makes sense?
Yeah, and then to get it to Dotloop. Like,
Oh, yes, sorry. You would just click on listing maintenance, create listing agreement. And then you would choose the agreement in progress. You'll probably just have that one or a few. And then you would just print, email, and you would just fill in some of the other information like the compensation, their name, all that stuff. And then you would click next, and then it'll ask you to save the document.
okay. And then I guess you save it to your computer and upload it into Dotloop?
Yeah, and then it would just be a PDF. So then you would just have to do that add button in Dotloop to add those signature fields.
Okay.
Would you put that in any particular category or just underneath the listing paperwork?
Yeah, you would put that under listing paperwork, and then you would just delete the listing agreement that was in here. Basically, you're like replacing it. So
I see that a lot of the listing agreements are preset with 5% commission. If we happen to get 6, is
yeah, woo-hoo.
it, can we change that, or is it like a field we
You're
can't
more
change?
than welcome to change it. And any questions that ever arise, like if Sally, like I know for like 4% is only acceptable. Sometimes some people will do 4%. So some of that, Sally will always ask if anything looks like, not fishy, but if there's any issues with anything. But 60%, you're more than welcome to add that.
Yeah. We could type over that field though?
Yeah, you would just delete it.
Okay.
Reese, so when I logged onto Dotloop, in the beginning you said if you don't see KW somewhere, that means you're not in the like you're not, and reach out to Scott Leroy. Is that?
Yeah. On your password list, does it say that your password was previously set up?
I mean, when I did the onboarding stuff with Natalie, I don't know if I like created an account at that point because we were doing all of the paperwork through this.
Yeah, you want to log in with whatever is on the Scott Leroy marketing password list.
Got it. Okay. Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, then just definitely email them back and just say, hey, I can't get into my account. They can probably just reset it in the background.
Okay, thank you.
And then Nabila, I know that you said about New York. Dotloop's going to be the same. We do have some of the New York classes recorded I can send you. I'll ask Evelyn if she has some time. That wouldn't be something that would be every week because Evelyn is the New York broker, but she's a full-time agent as well. So she wouldn't be able to teach the class every week. But I can definitely ask her if we can get her on the schedule.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then parole, you said, will Sally go over how to do MLS listing form 2, or will it be a different class? Yeah, I don't want to say yes just because I'm not going to be in the class. But I can put, she has done it before in her recorded classes. And if she doesn't go over it, you guys can always come on Monday and I can walk you through it in our Ask Us Anything class. Any other questions? Everyone's good?
I'm sure we'll think of more, Reese.
Yeah, of course. That's okay.
I'm always good for one more.
Yeah, and all the actual paperwork, the only reason I didn't go through it is because like Sally, I think Monday's class was like 2 hours. Like she goes like full in depth into every document, and she's the broker, so I'm sure her explanation is better than mine. So again, we're teaching those classes every week, but they'll also be recorded. This whole week's class, besides my setup class today, because my computer is all fuzzy, will all be on the Coaching Lobby YouTube channel recorded. I'm going to post the link to that later in the Coaching Lobby on Facebook.
Reese, do you know if there's like, if the office has some sort of cheat sheet for all these listing and buyer paperwork, you know, just to like explain?
Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean a cheat sheet?
Maybe like a checklist, I think.
Well, like if you're going on a listing presentation or a buyer's consultation, you know, if they say, what is this paperwork? And you could quit like a cheat sheet for us to quickly say like, okay, this CIS is this listing paperwork is this, you know, like
I don't think we have something. Oh,
I think
Nabria,
saw it
did I
on
say that
the
right?
Weebly site.
Oh, okay.
We
AW's
have a
Weebly site,
checklist.
it's there.
We have a checklist of like what documents not to forget, but
Yeah.
I'm not positive we have one to explain like a short, brief explanation of each document. But Nabria, I don't want to say it wrong. Nabria.
I'm sorry, it's Noemi. My last name is Abreu, so that's why it shows up like that.
Oh, okay.
But it's Naomi. And I had another
no,
agent share that with me because my sponsor actually shared a cheat sheet that maybe I can
Yeah,
forward
would
to
you?
anybody who's interested.
Oh, that's
Would
awesome.
you mind if I put it in the Coaching Lobby Facebook group?
Not at all. I can email it to you later on. I'm at
Okay,
work now, but I can email it to you later.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll put
thank
my
you.
name in the chat, my email in the chat. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Hey, Reese,
Sorry.
are you still offering to input listings for us if we get listings?
Yep, so that you would just email, I'll put the email in the chat. It's KWVSR listing services at Gmail. There are a few things that you need to make sure you have. So everything has to be signed and by you, your client, and Sally. And I would suggest not submitting it the day that it needs to go live. Because it's not guaranteed that it's going to be in by the end of that business day. It is 24-hour turnaround. But yeah, we're still doing that. You can, if you don't have the contract, I can send it to you too, because that has to be signed as well.
I signed it back a few months ago. I just wasn't sure in this new year if you were still doing that.
Yep, still doing it.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Reese, I know you.
Any other questions?
Yes, just real
Go ahead.
quick. Color coded like the classes on the calendar. So, what would be like the next set of classes that we should, or like new agents should take? The blue ones are what this is class, right?
Yeah, so you want to take all the blue ones, which are Monday and Tuesday, and then the advanced are Wednesday through Friday.
Okay.
So you just want to follow that. I'm going to post this whole week. I'm posting the class with the links every morning in the Coaching Lobby. You also have them in that Google Calendar. You also want to make sure you attend. If you're not ready for the advanced classes yet, you shouldn't move on to the advanced until all of your database is in command, because you can't really do anything that we talk about in those classes without your contacts. So I would definitely focus on your database. If that's not ready, focus on that the rest of the week and then do the advanced classes next week.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Good stuff.
Thank you. And like I said, that's going to be recorded. So You can always go back. All right, well, if no one else has any questions, then I'll let you guys go for now.
Okay,
Thanks, Reese.
thanks,
Okay,
Reese.
thank you.
Thank
Have a
Reese.
good day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.